Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm today's host, Coleman Hodges. Joining us today, he is a three-time Olympian. He's an Olympic finalist. I don't know how often I'm going to get to ask this question, but the real question here, do you know the Muffin Man? We are sitting down with the 2024 Paris Olympic Muffin Man himself, Henrik Christiansen. Hey man, how's it going?
Hi, hey man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. This episode of the SwimSwam podcast is sponsored by Commit Swimming, SwimSwam's exclusive team management software partner. Since 2015, Commit has been providing coaches with swimming's leading workout management software. And now, Commit has team management software too. Commit wants to help you make the switch from Team Unify to a simpler, more powerful solution. Their onboarding and customer service team will walk you through every step of the way. Check them out at commitswimming.com to book your demo today. That's COMMIT swimming.com. You're home in Norway. How does it feel being back home after having the Olympic experience that you did?
It's really nice. It's really nice to come back home. It's been the past few weeks have been a lot more eventful than I kind of imagined them to be. I mean, I wanted the swimming to be a little bit better, but just doing the TikTok stuff and the Muffin Man stuff has just been it's been unreal. I never thought it would become like that at all. So it's been fun, but it's also been quite hectic. So it's nice to come home and then relax. Absolutely.
Yeah. What tell me about the Muffin Man stuff because I mean obviously it seems like you were just trying to have a little bit of fun in the Olympic Village with some good looking pastries and then it turned into something completely different and especially at an Olympic Games where as an athlete you're trying to do your best and perform your best and assumably have as few distractions as possible. What was the experience like, kind of overnight, being known by millions of people?
Yeah, no, it was quite crazy. I had decided beforehand that I wanted to try to make some funny content on TikTok. Um, just because I know that in Tokyo it was very popular. A lot of people got to see behind the scenes at an Olympics for the very first time. Because in Rio back then, TikTok wasn't really a thing, and it's a platform where you can really just get it directly from the source, you know. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of fun stuff as well, because um, I think it's important also to have a bit of a personal side to being an athlete as well. If people can relate to you as a person, and then they kind of understand that we're also just people. We're not really the machines that they think we are. But I decided that I wanted to film some different stuff, and one of the things I wanted to do was rate the food in the Olympic Village, and then the muffin was one of the things I had on my very first day. So I filmed that and then I posted a video. I reviewed it. I gave it an 11 out of 10 because I mean, it is really good. Like just through all of this, people have been constantly asking me, how good is it? And it is that good. But then I saw people commenting, oh, I've seen a lot of people talking about this muffin and then it seems so good. So I decided to do a few more videos on it, and then they just became super popular. And then I decided to just fully lean with it and then go all out. So I posted like five more videos just about the muffin, and they just got even crazier and crazier. And then it just blew up. Then people were calling me the Muffin Man. Oh my God, have you seen that? The Muffin Man. And it was just like there was no way for me to keep up with all the notifications. It was just crazy. But no, as you said, it was also tough to make sure that it wasn't too much of a distraction, because I'm always logged off all of social media when I'm at like major championships. So, but I decided that I wanted to try to do TikTok this time, because you don't really have that much interaction. It's I was able to post the videos and then not be on the app, just let the algorithm do all the work. Um, and I mean, I feel in a way that I was able to not keep scrolling too much. It does take a little bit of attention, but I also received so much positive feedback that I think it also helped me um, to to have a bit more of a positive experience in Paris, because the swimming wasn't really how I wanted it to be.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's cool to hear and something you don't hear every day for sure. It's that the social media had a positive impact, especially on an athlete. But
True.
um, in terms of in terms of the muffin itself, what made it so good?
I don't know. It's just I really like chocolate, and then it's a very like rich chocolate. It's dark chocolate, and it's so moist, because I think they keep them frozen and then they just thaw out in the like room temperature, so it keeps the moisture. And then like it has chocolate chips. It had the like the liquid chocolate center as well. So when you did bite into it, you just like got chocolate all over your face, and that kind of made it more funny, right? That was just like half of the joke is just having chocolate all over my face. Um,
I
but
did
yeah, no,
a
yeah, it was
I
really
did a
it was a good one.
Yeah, I did a deep dive before this interview and through all of your muffin content. And I loved how unhinged some of them became.
Yeah.
You were tied up and kidnapped by the chocolate muffin at one point. It was great. I so how did when you decided to roll with it, how did you start coming up with ideas for making these videos? Was it just inspired by other TikToks you had seen, or had you been brainstorming, the content idea for a while?
I did have like a note on my phone with TikTok ideas that whenever I came up with something, I would write it down, because it's so much easier to keep track of. But a lot of the stuff kind of just came to me. I feel like I'm a bit of a creative person, so it's been fun also to just be able to brainstorm and come up with some of the ideas. But also, I mean, TikTok as like a platform and a media is a lot about just trends, like hopping on the different trends that are popular that week. So a lot of like the popular sounds that you would hear other people use as well, I'd kind of hear those sounds and think, okay, how can I use this sound and make funny muffin content? Uh, and then, I mean, at one point, you kind of just have to stay relevant, and then keep having people like to keep people interested. You kind of just have to go all out. Like the one where I'm tied up with duct tape is just like I knew that that would kind of be like, okay, this guy has lost it, but it's still it just makes it more fun.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I loved the commitment. I was like, it had to
Thank you,
take him.
thank you.
It had like because some of these are like 5 to 10 second clips where you're just talking to a muffin. It's like it doesn't take that much effort, like you were saying. Um, but that one, it's like that takes some time. Like he had to tie himself up with duct tape and like that takes at least I don't know 10 or 15 minutes. Like he really committed. So I loved that.
Yeah, yeah. No, some of them took a little longer than others, and then but it's been fun just to experiment with like editing the videos. I never really had that much experience, but I found that it was quite easy actually. Once you just kind of film the content and you decide to, okay, I'm just gonna film this, and then not get like the secondhand embarrassment of like being, oh, I'm gonna do this, because
Mhm.
that's also a part of it. Just filming stuff in front of others is just it's kind of cringy. But once you just get over that, it's easy to just film the content and then you can edit it afterwards and then post it. So it's actually it was a process that I also had fun doing. And it's like you always think it's more difficult before you actually try it.
Absolutely. Yeah. As someone who's been filming content in front of other people for over a decade at this point, I don't think that embarrassment ever uh leaves me personally.
Yeah, no,
I think
it's
I'm
it's
still,
always it's always there a little bit.
yeah. Um so, so just in terms of the rest of your Olympic experience, I guess in the village, did people start recognizing you as the Muffin Man during the games?
Yeah, they did. It started out because I think around when I did the 800, that's when they like really blew up between the 800 and the 1500. So I think maybe 2 days after the 800, it was like the first time someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, you're the Muffin Man. Can we take a picture?" And I was like, "Wow, this has really gotten out of hand." Um, but I I've always like enjoyed taking like fan photos with younger kids here in Norway as well because you kind of end up being a role model for a lot of them. And then I've always, when I was younger, I would find it like almost horrifying to go up to famous people and like ask them for photos. So I always want to be very approachable. So I never say no, and I always do it like with a smile. And then so I kind of enjoyed doing it, and then it just got more and more. Like the volunteers would come up, athletes would come up, like coaches would come up. Like I'd have whole teams of like Dutch hockey players coming up. Oh, Muffin Man, can we take a photo? Uh, Katie Ledecky and Bobby Fink came up to ask me for a photo. I was like, I should ask you guys for a photo. Like, come on. But
Had
no,
you
it
met
was
them before?
um, not really like that. No,
Okay.
haven't really spoken to them that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't really matter. It's like they kind of feel like because I obviously know who they are, and then so I kind of feel like I know them, and then through the social media, people kind of feel like they know me as well because they can relate to the content I'm posting, and then they see a bit of my personality. I feel a lot of people feel like they can relate, and then feel like they know me in a weird way. But that's also cool.
Absolutely. No, I think that is again a benefit of social media, and I think we've been, yeah, as swimming gets more of those personalities. I think we see that in a cool way too. I've been eating pancakes on camera for years now, and
Yeah.
I'll go to some meets sometimes, and people, will be like, "You're the pancake guy. Like, can we have a
Yeah,
picture?"
right, right.
And it's cool. It's cool to have that feeling of people feel like they already know you.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's that's so cool. So I do want to talk about just the swimming aspect of it.
yeah.
Um, but I will use food as a transition. So
Okay.
apart from the muffins, we heard a lot of things coming out of the Olympic Village about the food, and I've talked to several athletes at this point just about their experience with that. How was the rest of the food in terms of, preparing to be an athlete and trying to swim your best?
I think it was good. Um, I know that in the beginning there was a lot of issues. They didn't really have enough chefs. They didn't have enough food. So the first 2 days we were there, we would stand in line, and then by the time we got to the front of the line, there was no more food. But I feel like um, the Paris 2024 organization, they handled that really well. So I heard they flew in some more chefs, and then once the competition started, people started not coming in to the dining hall all at the same time. People were more spread out. So I feel like that issue kind of sorted itself out. But I thought the food was good. They had a really good salad bar. They had like international stuff. They had more French cuisine. They had pasta. They had pizza. They had a noodle station. They had dumplings. They had like an Asian station where they would have bunch of different stuff. Um, Personally, I thought the food in Tokyo was better, but that I love Japanese food, and then they had more of that. They had curry, they had sushi, gyozas, like all kinds of stuff, ramen station. But I mean, at the end of when you've been there for 3 weeks, you kind of get sick of eating the same stuff every day, no matter what you have. But I thought the food was good.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that sounds like a fairly good spread.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of has said like all around the food in Tokyo was better, but I feel like in a village setting, can't your expectations can't be that high, right?
No, no, you're not really expecting gourmet food, right? You're expecting mass-produced chicken and pasta. It's like you can't individually make meals for the 10,000 athletes and probably 10,000 coaches and staff as well, right? So you kind of get what you expect.
Absolutely. No, and then just in terms of your swimming, how are you feeling heading into the games? And then, can you just kind of take me through how you feel like your events went?
Yeah, I feel like in the past few years after the COVID and stuff, I've been struggling a bit more on long course. I've had some good short course seasons where I've done some good short course races, and then heading into the long course season, I always felt like in the beginning it goes well, and then when I'm sort of getting closer to the main events, it's just not really. I just don't feel like it's just not going as well. I feel like the past few major meets in the summer they've been awful. So I feel like we need to do a bit more of a deep dive to see, okay, what's actually going on, why is it going like this. And before this, I felt like I was in a really good space. The short course, no, the long course worlds in Doha, they were pretty bad, but I felt like I was able to learn a bit from doing the weeks leading up to that championship. And then I felt like afterwards, when we got home, we went through a period with a lot of volume, and I started feeling really good. I also tried doing a 10K at a World Cup earlier because I wanted to try to do the 10K in Paris as well. So I felt like doing all the work for the 10K was really gonna have a positive impact on the 8 and the 15 as well. But we had a European long course in the middle of June, which was pretty good. But after that, I started like feeling a little bit more tired. I didn't really feel like I had any speed in training, and like by the time we got to Paris, it was tough to walk in with a lot of confidence because the training leading up to the meet wasn't really how I wanted it to be. It wasn't as fast as I had expected it to be, and then it's kind of difficult to race with a lot of confidence, and then yeah, that never really works out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense if you're not if you the training isn't what you want it to be or at the level you want it to be, yeah, then the confidence might not be there as well. But in terms of just your longevity in the sport, you're 27. This was your third Olympics. Did you have did it feel different going in terms of what you were expecting of yourself from this Olympics?
I'm not really sure. I don't feel like I'm finished with the sport. I feel like, yeah, no, I'm 27. I'm turning 28 this year, but there are still guys older than me that's still improving. They're still setting personal bests. So I don't feel like it's impossible for me to like evolve and then become better. So no, but definitely feel like I have a lot more experience. I know going into a third Olympics, you kind of know what to expect. Um, I feel like that kind of helped me, but it's also like I've been doing it for a lot of years, and then like the past few years have been quite difficult. But mean, I've had difficult years in the past as well, and I've kind of always been able to come through stronger on the other side. And I feel like I can do that now as well. So I'm hoping to be able to like come back and like make finals, make medals as well. Because I mean, I love doing that stuff. It's so fun.
Yeah. Have you had this? How long have you been with your current coach?
We've been together now for 10 years. And then, but now we are, he's quitting now. So, so I mean, it's like a natural place for me to try to, maybe I should try to explore some different environments. Maybe it's time to just look at what we've been doing, try to do it in another way. It's like, it's a natural place to start looking at other options as well.
Where when you train in Norway, correct?
Yeah, that's true. I train in Norway.
Okay. Where in Norway?
I train like in Oslo, so the capital, in a club called Lambertseter. I'm not really sure if a lot of people will know that, but it's one of the bigger clubs here in Norway.
Okay. Nice. I mean, I guess in terms of training style, um, is it pretty high volume? I'm guessing for your training and for your events.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, I've always done a lot of stuff by myself because there's not really that much of a swimming environment here in Norway, and not that many other people doing distance and being on that level. So I'm very used to doing a lot of stuff on my own. But we also have a lot of national team camps, national team gatherings, where I've also, and then for the past few years, John, uh, Jon Jøntvedt, the other 800-meter freestyler in Paris, we've been able to train a lot together, and then we've both benefited from that 100%. But now he's moving to the US. He's starting Michigan, so I'm kind of losing him. So that's going to be tough, obviously, to not have another distance guy on that level to train with when we're away on national team camps. But no, it's gonna take a little while to figure out what to do and how to do what I need to do moving forward.
Yeah. Um, you brought up your teammate going to Michigan. I'm I read that you were offered scholarships from Stanford and Berkeley when you were younger to go swim in the US. Is that true?
Yeah, I was in contact with several schools, and then I also visited. I visited Stanford, I visited Berkeley, and then I was very. I wanted to explore the opportunities because swimming in the States seemed really fun. But at that point, I had started to gain a lot more attention back home. I was a World Championship finalist back then, and I was together with the national team, and then my parents and like my trainer, my coach, just everything. We kind of landed on. I think it would be more beneficial for my swimming to stay at home. I was getting a lot more funding. I was getting a lot more help from the Olympic organization back home in Norway. So that's kind of what we landed on. Um, but I mean, obviously, swimming in the States would have been really fun. It would have been an amazing experience. I'm sure of it. But back then, I think it was the best for my swimming at that point.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, when people, especially in the US, think about that, they don't consider all the factors that go into a move like that, especially so
Yeah,
far
true.
away from home and from everything you're used to, and especially like you said, when you're getting funding as a swimmer, that doesn't happen too often.
No,
So
true.
yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Is a bigger move like that, or just maybe out of Norway, something you would consider at this point in your career?
I feel like I kind of have to consider all the opportunities. Right now, I'm going to have a little bit of a break for the rest of the year from swimming, just to get some fresh air, clear my head, and then just being able to live a normal life for once. I've never really had the opportunity to do all that stuff for more than like a few weeks after world champs or European champs. So it's going to be nice to be able to live a bit of a normal life for a little while, and hopefully I'll come back and then I'll just truly miss the sport, and it will motivate me to work even harder. But yeah, no, I'm gonna use the rest of the year to figure out what's best for me. If it's gonna be to still stay at home and then just visit different environments for a little while, see where I might enjoy staying. I mean, I have a lot of friends in the sport, luckily, so I feel like there's a lot of places that would be very welcome, and then where I would be able to visit. But I'm gonna spend some time during the rest of the year just to figure stuff out.
Nice. I mean that, yeah, that sounds great, especially after an Olympics. What is living a normal life gonna look like for you? I mean, what are you most looking forward to in that state of living?
I feel like it's almost just like the small things, being able to like go to the movies at 9 o'clock on a Thursday, like to not really worry about, oh, I have to be up at 5:30 on Friday morning for morning practice. Being able to meet up with friends, being able to stay up late and watch a movie with my girlfriend, just like the small things. And then, I mean, now that I've also kind of become a sensation on social media, I feel like I really enjoy doing that stuff as well. So I feel like I could explore that a bit more. I have time to see if that's something I would want to do after I swim. Now, after I'm finished swimming, to see if there's any money to be made, and if that makes if I can make a bit more money from doing that, I might be able to swim for longer and just have fun doing that, because I mean I love swimming and I love doing what I do right now, traveling the world, like swimming, training, and competing with my friends. It's the best. I mean, yeah. So if I'm able to do that for longer by also making some money on social media, that would be perfect.
Yeah, the Cody Miller model. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, he's doing well as well. So it's like, if if you're able to, I mean, as professional athlete, you you're kind of in the entertainment industry, right? Because if you're not doing something that people want to watch, whether it's like swimming fast and doing that stuff, or if you're producing stuff for social media that people want to watch, it's like you're not really making anything, right? You're not making anything that people will want to watch. Then why should they watch? So it's like you kind of have to admit to yourself that you need to do something that people will want to they will want to keep like watching you do stuff.
I love that take. I love that perspective because yeah, pro sports is a business and it is at
It's
the end
true.
of the day, it is entertainment.
That's true. And then, I mean, now just all of the different social media, the world is just getting smaller and smaller. And then you're able to have an outlet that is like TikTok is a creative outlet where you can sort of get it directly from the source. There's just like people can tune in to see exactly the stuff that's coming right from my phone out there.
Hmm.
And I feel like it just makes people feel like they can relate to the athletes more. And at least like today, I think that's a lot more important. People want to feel like they can relate to the people they're either cheering for or they have as a role model. I feel like it's just becoming more and more important these days.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. I agree wholeheartedly. And I think that is one very cool thing about social media that, like you said, I've never heard an athlete be like, I actually had positive effects at a swim meet from social media. But I think when you have that perspective, and it's like when you're using it to relate to people and for people to relate to you, then it can have some really positive side effects, which is really cool. You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.